How is everyone doing tonight, to morning, to whatever time you're watching this? I am your play-by-play caster, not Scribble, but
Zimbabwe.
username underscore Scrabble, but username underscore Intel. This right here, or right here, is not Misfit, but rather Joker's Ransom, and will be your color caster. How are you doing, Joker's Ransom?
I'm doing fine today. I'm excited to get into this Advanced Division Grand Finals. Oh my goodness. One team combing through basically the loser's bracket and dominating throughout it. And another team from the winner's bracket also dominating as well. Both teams after Celestial Esports Quasar lose after they lost haven't dropped a map.
They haven't dropped a map?
They haven't dropped. Celestial Esports Quasar has not dropped a map since they lost in round 2 of the winners bracket, and Luminous only dropping 1. This is going to be a great series. Oh my goodness! Look at that.
This is going to be amazing. This means that both of these teams are they're completely ready to go into the match and look to win the finals.
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. I guess Luminous has not dropped a map at all during this series, so maybe we'll see their first drop map, or we're just going to see another 3-0.
I don't think this will be a San Francisco type of moment. Rather, we're looking at 2 top titans looking to bring in that victory. Here are their starting lineups as we get ready, and my goodness, both of these teams have been performing consistently well, and oddly enough, both of their play styles almost seem completely different.
Yeah, Celestial Esports Quasar like to opt for that dive style of compositions, where Luminous opting for that stereotypical rush. So it's a really a differing of ideals, and we'll see which whatever maps we go to will really determine on which teams get the leg up.
Fairly true, but I'd have to say, we know the first map, don't we, my good man?
Yeah, and it's on the screen right now, Nepal, and we're not seeing Lijiang Tower as the first map today. And
yeah, which is weird because both of these teams' favorite map is Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and maybe that's a little bit of mind games going into this this series. Maybe Luminous has been practicing specifically Nepal for this past week or so, just to get that to have that one little advantage, because no one really plays Nepal. It's like our producer said in the break. It's always that map 5 that you usually see in Nepal. Never that first map. It's not everyone. That's not someone's go-to map for a finals, and it'll be really interesting to see. Specifically on Sanctuary, I believe we could see the Celestial Esports decide with that dive composition instead of that rush, because of that massive hole right next to point, and that monkey can just have so much more value because you can just jump out of that hole.
Yeah, Nepal is such a different map compared to Lijiang Tower. While Lijiang Tower is very, I guess, comfortable against multiple compositions on all 3 maps, Nepal is more favored of 1 or 2, just on specific maps. Village, obviously Brawl, or kind of Bunker, but the one you're seeing right here is often favored specifically both Bunker and Dive, and I'm interested to see which one will run out.
Yeah, and with the Bunker compositions we've seen on this point of Nepal, we sometimes see a Torbjorn as well, because some other teams like to opt for that dive. And Torbjorn is a very nice nice counter to dive, but right now we're seeing Luminous opting for the Brawl, with Celestial Esports Quasar opting for what we saw in the previous series, a Wrecking Ball Sigma composition.
I could fully respect it. Both of these compositions work amazingly well, but more specifically, Celestial Esports, with that Pharah, they have so much room to punish anyone who just isn't stacked together.
Yeah, and specifically since the Luminous isn't opting for a hit scan, they just won, and Death is gonna get a first pick already.
That's absolutely massive. That's a Metra. You need the beam to be able to burst down that Sigma. Sure, you're able to rush out, but now these teams are both down one. We're also going to see the swap onto the Tracer. No Symmetra anymore, but they don't have point control. Looks like they're having to back up. They're looking to get some pokes onto the Pharah, but everyone else is set up and positioned in a way to which they're no one to run on. Look at them already rotating back onto the point, just setting first ball as the ball dives. We're going to be seeing Dante try to do their best to eat a majority of the damage, but eventually be demech and slowly be bursted down. The point has been captured by Celestial Esports, and everyone else on Luminous is just trying to either reset or back up. The fight's unwinnable, but Celestial Esports are staggering them to no end.
Yeah, and we've seen two kills coming in from Death on this Pharah with the oh my goodness, I always forget what this ability is called, but now we're seeing a complete change of ideals right now from Luminous. They're swapping to this dive composition to probably stop the environmental kills coming in from the Pharah.
They probably saw something else, but either way, AK Dev, living by the name, managing to hit that 2K and finish off the support. Luminous are even going to be able to have a fight here as the Monkey's just using the bubble to make room to escape.
Yeah, and Snorlax fan did get a pick in the end, and owning are going to be felled as well again. But here comes the minefield engagement from Quasar.
Yeah, they're able to place it and split them up. They're able to find out both Zenyatta and Darky. So now they have room to play on this point. The Pharah still has the Mercy Pocket and is playing high in the skies. The hack does to come out on the Mercy, but either way, they kill aka Death and Panda and are starting to have room to capture this point, even with the stall. I mean, Kaza does, on the bright side, manage to find out Morka Kai, sorry. But either way, the point's going to swap over.
Yeah, and that was a really great first point hold for Celestial Esports. 83% up, and now for they have the ultimates to re-engage this. Nothing on the side of Luminous except the sound barrier. It's going to be really hard to hold it now, especially with the Gravitic Flux engagement.
Look at that, throwing out. We're going to see Kai immediately get shut down by the Gravitic Flux. Same with Plague Doctor. It looks like Celestial Esports have no worries about winning back this point. Almost able to burn down Blue, but Blue is able to use the Primal Rage. It's going to have room to try to touch the points, able to almost poop off the Sigma, but just barely going to survive. Using the bubble to touch this point, it's going to be the only room to stall. Blue still alive, having some backup in a close second as we see Kai being able to use the EMP to not only find Darky, but find the rest of Celestial Esports, and they just have to reset. They may have won that fight, but they let the Sombra live for a tad bit too long.
Yeah, if they had just killed Mordecai early in that fight, this might have just been done and over with, and we're going into the next point of Nepal. But now they have a little bit of life left. Snorlax fan and one having ultimates online, but I might not be enough, especially with Quasar using this. But oh my goodness, Alernia going down early.
Yeah, the barrage comes out, but it's immediately going to be Ian, Blue and Snorlax in the backline, being able to pick off the targets who are split off. Kaza does manage to find Blue, but the rest of their team is gone, so in the end, it's just going to be another reset. They still are building up ultimates and have a bit more time for possibly 2 more fights.
Much better.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a full swap coming in from Celestial Esports. Quasar opting for this the kind of the mirror match except for the Sombra. They're opting for a Reaper instead for that burst damage onto the Monkey.
Look at them committing into this fight. Blue able to find out Alenia as well as AK Death. That Reaper's not going to be able to help them out anymore. Now we're at 87%. This is last fight territory. Blue still has that Primal Rage, going to be able to knock anyone off as they try to come into this choke. And they're just playing so aggressive. That Sombra enables them so much. Look at that. Kaz not going to be able to live off. They do manage to touch the point, so we rest of Luminous is going to try to touch Owning, already having to use that recall so early in the fight. Plague Doctor's going to be able to get the boot onto Darky before Darky can even try to touch the point. And the Reaper is now returned back. Blue Woo is mad, is Monkey, and is helping his team secure the team fight win, as they're going to win the first point of Nepal.
Wow. Just wow. That should have been over a while ago. But what a play coming in from Mordecai on that Sombra again. I can't mention it enough. That was just massive. Being able to win that out and save the point for them, and then turning it around, and in the end, getting getting another massive EMP and closing that fight out. And after a shaky start, Luminous is looking a lot better, and I'm seeing why they've not dropped the map so far.
Oh my goodness, they seem to want to keep that up. But looking at Village, this is once again kind of what we saw before. We're going to be seeing the Brawl competition with the Symmetra versus the Ball Sigma, and I'm wondering how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yep, already seeing them coming out, that initial poke, being able to hit a couple targets, but now they're just going to be taking angles, splitting up the attention of Luminous, as their resources are so limited. The point still only has 6 seconds to be captured, one going down dangerously low, taking a lot of poke. Blue shield is not going to be able to sustain. We see the Discord go on to Gitante, and he is just having to back up, hit these walls, play natural cover. Now the teleporter, that's so smart. They run out, get Alenia before she can even react, and now they're continuously walking in, manage to get Darky. AK Death is still alive while Panda is looking for the reds, but they are body blocking it so hard and giving Snorlax fan so much resources, such as the DM, that he's allowed to walk in and get some value.
Yeah, well, they won that fight, but in the chaos there, Celestial Esports getting it back in their favor and almost getting it up to 11%. That's still a decent amount of chunk, and it wasn't ticking in favor of Luminous during that little bit there, but Snorlax fan getting so much damage done with this Symmetra right now.
On the bright side, they got a pretty big boot. Look at the Mage is not with the team. Now the barrage coming out. AK Death being able to almost save themselves, but the barrage is going to be shut down. The windows there looking to kind of split them up, but it's kind of far back. Now the Davidic Flex trying to save the fight. The sound barrier there to even things out of Snorlax fans, able to find out Panda. The low healing composition is not too favorable in these long kind of fights, but on the bright side, the poke, they're also touching this point. The immortality is managing to keep them alive, and once again, they are making sure Snorlax fan stays alive by giving him all the healing and DMs as they can.
Yeah, and it's really showing, working in their favor. As Snorlax fan has just been doing so much damage on the Symmetra, being able to chunk down a lot of the oppositional tanks as well as the squishies for Celestial Esports, and it's up to 80% now, and it's looking very good for them to close out this map.
They are having so much poke. They're able to find out Snorlax fan first. They're trying to run up onto the Zenyatta, but they don't have the ability to. On the bright side, even if Gitante is able to get out Kaz, Owning is there. Managed to find out Plague Doctor, the Transcendence inbound being used last second, but they're able to flip back the point at 93%.
And now they don't have that Transcendence, though, going into this next fight. Mordecai has this Blizzard online, but... And it's probably just going to be used to lock down this point, because it's not really a stick together. Celestial Esports isn't really just running a composition that is based on sticking together. But look at that damage done by Death on the far end, almost 10k so far.
AK Death looking for this barrage is high up, combined with the mines. They aren't able to eat up all of it, as Kai's able to shut down AK. Not until Blue Woo and One are picked off. This is one reset that they're going to be happy for.
Yeah, but they didn't invest a Blizzard in that fight. They didn't really invest, and they didn't invest any ultimates in that fight due to Luminous, and that's really great. They got AK Death to use that the barrage, which is great, and now it's a massive amount of damage gone for this next engagement.
Yeah, look at that. Owning able to pick off Snorlax fans as the rest of Luminous uses the Blizzard on point, forces them up, and they're able to reset the timer. As the Immortality gets used inside of the corner, the Pharah is there, and one is not able to have any form of cover to defend themselves as Blue Woo Woo is just slowly backing out, trying to escape. Celestial has nothing to sweat about.
Yeah, and they're gonna have this Pulse Bomb online from Owning coming up here. Mordecai opting to swap over to this the Soldier now and to try to probably get back to this point as quickly as possible. We might not even see a touch, but I do see Blue Woo in a good place to get to the point.
Look at them. Already the contest is committed, but Celestial has 3 ultimates. Pulse Bomb, Mines on the point, splitting them up, and they're not going to be able to touch fast enough. Plague Doctor was on healing, the speed boost wasn't enough, and that's going to cost them the round. But now, it's not going to cost them the map.
Yeah, it's not going to cost them the map because they ended up winning that first one, obviously. But going into, oh no, is it? This is the one I always forget what the name is.
It's Matt.
Yeah, okay. It's, but Shrine, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. It is Shrine going into this point. And now we're not going to see Luminous opt for this brawl like I was first initially thinking. Still not opting to run a hit scan to deal with AK Death in the sky.
I think they're having some issues dealing with the Pharah. That's why they go on to the dive with the Sombra. They're able to push in, hack the Sombra, deny any value, and pick them off, as well as pretty much playing like a brawl comp.
Yeah, as they're going to dive up to this top and try to get some people. But AK Death already showing why they need a hit scan.
Yeah, poor one. Not able to go fast enough. Blue Woo jumps a little bit too far, stuck inside the enemy backline. They're able to pick Blue Woo off. Snorlax fan goes a bit too deep in. G10 is there, finds out Panda, but the rest of their team is gone. They're able to contest this point as the Lucio's still there, but there isn't much of a chance of them winning this fight, especially with their D.Va dying out so late.
Yeah, the D.Va being felled there as the Lucio as well, falling just right. But it's just as the point is captured in favor for Celestial Esports, they have time to regroup and re-engage this as we see Mordecai in the backlines looking, scouting out, looking to where everyone is as Owning. Oh my goodness, getting felled early by Snorlax fan.
Look at that. That's going to be a pretty decent pick. They're not going to have to worry about a Tracer flanking as they're almost able to get the back cap. However, it looks like Kaz is able to touch, but then immediately gets off, giving them the point. Now it's just a fight of time. They are able to finish off Panda. That Pharah no longer has anyone to help, as well as the hack. The mines are placed down, stopping anyone from really going to a specific angle. And it manages to find out Blue, who kind of just walks a bit too close. And the Grid Flux now being used. We see Snorlax looking for that pulse bomb. Mortal, it looks like my mouth is going to be shut down, and this is kind of unfortunate. They're at this fight. They're just looking to stall this out as much as they can. It's still going back and forth as Den is looking to find out Darky. AK's returned back, but Blue Woo has as well and manages to pick them off. The res goes back onto Darky, making it in favor of Celestial Esports, and now they're almost able to get the hack, but it gets canceled out. Kai is going to be having the EMP for the next fight, but it looks like this is more in favor of Celestial Warriors. Luminosity is not able to finish this fight out, and they're just looking to stall it out, but then they commit the sound barrier, looking to commit more. The ball is still spinning to winning as Owning is coming back with the pulse bomb to look to fight it, to get some value into this fight, and AK Death is just being split up and hacked, so they're not being able to do much. Now they dive going out into the point, and it looks like Luminous is able to win this fight.
Yeah, and another late kill onto Owning by Snorlax fan. This is going into last... No, it's not going to last one territory yet, but the self-destruct is coming out and gonna get Panda still. What?
It just barely hits Panda. They weren't expecting it, but they weren't ready to dodge it. As the rest of Luminous go on top of the high ground, they're trying to find Learn, as she is just kind of hiding somewhere with the Sigma, getting that peel, and they know that trance can help them win the fight.
Yeah, As another hack coming on to Quasar, and they're going to be felled, and that's massive. They don't have this minefields to engage into this next push here, but the Pulse Bomb not going to get any value either.
Yeah, look at that now. This is one big messy fight. That EMP comes out, manages to find not only the bar, but the Sig and Tracer. The Valk as well, enabling some bit of damage as the transcendence is now ended. Mines placed on points gonna help get out Blue Uwu. Divic Flux being slammed down, gonna pick off the rest of the targets, and it looks like Celestial still has a chance to win the map, as they're gonna be capping the point and moving it in. But now it's in last fight territory, 99-25.
Yeah, this is in the last fight territory. Mordecai still staking on the Sombra. Odd they decided to swap. Maybe they were trying to get a quick recontest, but in the end it didn't really matter. Quasar, oh my goodness, already fell in this fight. That's massive. Going into this fight, they just have to pick the Sigma, and I think they can win this fight out.
Yeah, they also find out Ilerna as the barrage comes out, but once again, we see Den already there, ready to eat the majority of the damage. It's going to cost the mech. Now once down, they have less healing, but the Forest been split up from the Mercy. Panda has the res, might be able to pop it out, but the rest of the team is being pressured. Kaz is immediately going to be picked out as they return. The Valk super jump misses just barely, and they're going to go right after Panda, finishing them off. Now it's one fight onto point as we see Darky on the Monkey's gonna be able to get a bubble plague doctor, not gonna be able to survive, doesn't even have the beat anymore. Blue managed to find out Ilerna one trading in, both of the supports are gone, but the Perma Witch coming out of Blue Uwu. G10 does also have the Demon Bomb, might be able to make some type of Mira play. They're just looking to poop them around. The Monkey's the last one on point, they flip back. So now Celestial aren't gonna be able to do much. The EMP now rebuilt back up. They finish AK, they finish Kaz. Last one being on the point is the Lucio, but even they aren't going to be doing much as Luminous. Got to give them some love because they are shining bright as they win Nepal.
Yeah, and they're shining bright indeed. Still with their perfect map in the playoffs so far. Some great plays specifically from Mordecai on that Sombra. Just getting so much value with that EMP, and that's what you need when you're playing Sombra. If you're not getting value from your EMP, you can build up quick EMPs all you want. But if you're not getting EMP value, it doesn't matter in the end.
Exactly. That's what makes Sombra so annoying, yet so powerful. She denies value from the enemy team. She stops you from having fun and playing the game and looking for an advantage. But if you can't stop people from having fun, then what are you really doing? Either way, we're going to be looking at some comparisons of the Tracer play Snorlax versus owning. What are your initial thoughts on these?
Well, obviously, looking at the deaths, a Snorlax fan with 5 and owning with 7, and then the final blows as well. Oh my goodness, they're doubling. Snorlax fan doubling owning in those final blows. It's obviously a big difference maker on why Luminous was able to win that first map out on the back of Snorlax fan on that Tracer.
Yeah, it was really impressive, because on that last point, especially during the last era of those kind of few fights, we saw Snorlax fan going the extra mile and playing Tracer the way you're supposed to, which is getting the picks that the team is enabling you to have. Which, come on, you're going to have good stats after that, especially with a 4.9 death average. That's fairly impressive.
Yeah, and you know what I was just told now, username _Intel. Both of these teams play under the Celestial Esports banner. So this is the Celestial Esports Civil War, like we were told.
Yeah, what is this script? We were told ahead of time that this was a civil war. We're like, oh, there must be some issues, and now there's going to be a side swap or something. But no, these teams, they're both leaving with a W in the end, and they're both performing at their best. This is just a scrim at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know. We need to talk to the script writers after this, because
it's like when the marsupial brandings are able to come into the grand finals of each division. You know, you gotta wonder who's writing this.
I think we're definitely gonna have to talk to these script writers after this, and well, look at that. We're not gonna go to a different map, but Kings Row. Kings Row is our next map here. As
we've had our love.
we had our fun without Kings Row our first series of the day, but now we get back to Kings Row, that tried and trusted brawl, and you've got to have to favor Luminous in this matchup.
I would definitely say so. They look a lot cleaner when it comes to the brawl, and I don't know whether it's just the fact that they're kind of just having Blue Uwu push in while Snorlax is taking those aggressive angles with the tank, almost very synergized, and it's enabling them to get the value. While Celestial, at times, they're just not executing things as cleanly as their enemy team, which is kind of the hit or miss area.
Yeah, and still, not even just that. We saw what Celestial Esports was, Quasar was opting for in those the first map. They were opting for that Ball Sigma comp a lot of the time. Now it can get a lot of value. Wrecking Ball can get a lot of value on Kings Row, but it's known as a rush style map for a reason. So if Luminous does come out on this the brawl rush style composition, I think we're gonna see it go in favor for them. But right now, obviously they're in spawn right now, and you can't really comment on what they are running at this moment. But Celestial Esports Quasar are opting for this the brawl composition right now with that McCree and May.
Yep, this just reminds me of goats, if you ask me.
Yeah, pretty much. This is kind of a Neo Goats kind of with that May in the in this composition, but Mordecai on the Doomfist. No, okay.
No, on to some. No, I'm back on the Doomfist.
Interesting. Obviously, one-shot potential is going to be massive, especially with the walls that can come up.
Yeah, Immortality already placed. They're putting in so much pressure by walking in, but the moment they start getting low, they back up. Snorlax, however, is a bit too far up. Seems Mordecai's just not going to be able to survive this initial push. They do manage to get a tick out of it. However, they've lost their DPS and they don't have the room to push in. That Mage's gonna be able to start freezing and getting the value. And it looks like Luminous, while they got the tick, have to go back to the spawn room and come up with a new plan.
Well, if you are, and that's a big stagger on to the Diva of Luminous. But if you are Luminous, you like that engagement. You've got a tick. So if you do it 2 more times, you're most likely, if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna have another tick in the bag, and you'll eventually get it unlocked. But Ultimate's already online for Quasar here.
Look at that, already using the high noon so quickly. They managed to find out the Doomfist, but Owning isn't able to escape. Both the Diva Bomb Shatter and Window get used. Darky able to find value with the remake kill, banning Blue Uwu, and they save themselves from the fight.
Yeah, so many ultimates, however, used from Quasar in that last engagement. 4 being used, only 1 coming out from Luminous. In the end, they have the ultimate advantage going into this next engagement, and they should win this fight out. Look for the amplification matrix to be used as to buy some space.
Using the speed so they can move in with the high noon. The blizzard's gonna be there. They managed to find out Mordecai of the high noon, not able to find value due to the immortality. The sound barrier was there to try to help them out, but it doesn't outbeat a blizzard. And it looks like Celestial is once again forcing Luminous to come up with a new idea of pushing in.
Yeah, I don't know. This Doomfist has not built up an ultimate until just now. I would have swapped over this a little bit ago. Not getting much value from it, I don't think.
Definitely see what you mean. Owning, using the high noon. It forces Luminous to back up, but he knows somebody's on the flank. We see Kaz not scared, and it's just taking as much space the May while being able to stop Blue Uwu from moving up with the team. Now the Slam able to find Eterna and looking to find more targets. Kai finally showing off that Doomfist. The Shatter goes out. Managing to find out one, but one's gonna get that heal of a lifetime, but not to save their life. Panna is also alone with the May, but it looks like Mordecai has no fear and is able to start playing Doomfist like a Doomfist.
Yeah, in the end, Mordecai finally did get some value and popped off. nice slam coming in, using that ultimate to kill Alerna on the statue, and then being able to get some nice value as well with the other abilities of Doomfist in the end. But I don't know, maybe we'll get more value coming into this more closed off portion of King's Row.
Oh, they wall off Blue Uwu. She's barely able to escape, and it looks like Celestial just have to start backing up. Mordecai goes a bit too far in, but the shatter is massive. The Diva Bomb is combo, but they're able to start walking into the backline. It favors and gets Snorlax as well as one. Darky is just getting a lot of remake kills on this map, it seems.
Yeah, and as much as it was almost a trade, now they're going to have to back off as the respawns from Luminous are coming back, so that in the end, it was kind of a tie, but the respawn advantage is so much in favor of Luminous, they're going to have to back up and give some car progress.
Look at this. We see as Luminous are taking comfort. They use that window. They're looking for some quick value. The Blue Uwu has once again been blocked up. Immortality manages to save from the Death Blossom, but Uwu uses the window, manages to get the 2K. The Blizzard's still there, but the Sound Barrier is making sure that they stay alive. And if you're AK Def, you've got to feel so frustrated because that was such a good Blizzard. But in the end, you have to go back and rebuild it.
Yeah, and now they should be able to capture this fully. We might see a re-contest from Quasar. They've got the Rhine right there, but no, they're just going to try to get a Fire Strike, build some ultimates. And now we're seeing them go in. A 3-minute time bank, that's not that bad. And now Snorlax fan going back to this Reaper. Blue looking to get a nice shatter coming into this next fight.
Yeah, but look at that. They're able to get the boop onto owning. Wow, the high noon finish on Mordecai Darky, putting in some pressure, managing to find out Blue Eterna. Gonna be picked off by Snorlax. It seems Luminous has the pick advantage. One may be down, but they have a Reaper who's committing so much damage. Snorlax just barely being able to wraith right back from a boop. And it seems Celestial has to back out. That was so close, but unfortunately, it looked like Luminous were just playing to their strengths.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a Reaper be able to teleport back up to the high ground after falling off the side of the map. That was really nice to see from Snorlax fan, but here comes the self-destruct in, and it's not going to get any kills, however.
It is going to push them back, force out the immortality. We see Mordecai's gone, same with AK Death. Blue who's getting that room to push in. Dante is now E-Mech, and we're seeing Snorlax fans take a flank, is looking to fight them as they now are forced to touch the point. This is now an issue. If they get off for even a second, they're going to be able to, Luminous is going to be able to capture the point, and we see a Celestial is just doing their best to remake, almost able to come up, but the Blizzard's now committed. Oh no, the Mei was walking into the room. AK was looking for a pick, looking to kill someone with the freeze, but they get off for that second, and what did I say? It would cost them the map. Well, yeah, the round.
Well, yeah, their round is over with, and it's still a decent time bank from Luminous after a shaky first attacking phase to initially get that cart unlocked. Didn't really have any snags going into the rest of the map, and now we're going to see their defense into this series, and we're going to see, I'm expecting the same composition we saw from Celestial Esports Quasar from their defense for Luminous's defense as well. I don't expect to see the Doomfist on attack defense, and like I said, we're gonna see no, we're gonna be opting for a Reaper instead of the McCree from Snorlax fan here.
I mean, it enables a lot more of an aggressive play and just like hard melting Kaz. But I feel like McCree is just so insanely good in this meta that at times he's kind of bigger than Snorlax. I mean, well, not Snorlax, but Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper, obviously, for those close engagements that I think we've seen Luminous like to take, is going to work in their favor, but that the longer range damage from owning could be a factor for this Quasar squad to go in if they can get long range picks from these people from owning. It could change, and oh, no one's saw Snorlax fan there.
Unfortunately, but now the Maywall has blocked them off. They are hard going for Snorlax, and they're able to get it out, but they trade their BAP in return. The Lucio inside the Immortality is just barely going to be able to survive, but now Kaz is being pressured on. They realize he's alive. Kaz is able to, Death is able to find out one and get the D-Mech onto the Diva. So now they've given some room to play. Mordecai using the Cryo Freeze, trying to save their lives, but it looks like Celestial don't really care and are just going to continue walking forward to capture this point.
Wow, and wow, what a quick capture it seems is going to be for as we have a pause coming in here. Don't know why yet, but it's looking really good for Quasar right now. They've got ultimates almost coming online, specifically from owning. But we'll see what.
Yeah, this may have been a slight couple ping issues. Maybe someone DC'd. Maybe someone's mom is calling them because they have nuggets in the refrigerator that are ready to be cooked. Who knows?
Go for some nuggets right now. I might go get some nuggets after this is done. We're seeing Celestial Esports Quasar looking so confident on this attack. I was not expecting this at all. Coming in from this, I was expecting a nice defense from Luminous, but right now it's looking for. Okay, so it's just it might have been just some ping problems, but as we're going right back into this game very quickly. As like I was saying during, we're gonna have a nice re-engagement coming in from Luminous though.
Yeah, you're not able to say anything. The Plague Doctor pokes out too fast, was trying to read it on owning, and in the end, you just got owned.
Yeah, and that what a nice time bank coming in from Quasar. Now they have 5 minutes and 15 seconds to really do something with it. They need a nice defense coming in from Luminous, and having Mordecai fall that late is not going to bode well for your defense.
Yeah, it's kind of going to force them to play a bit back and kind of wait. AK Depth also has the Blizzard, which is basically going to fight up against Mordecai. I see these teams canceling it out, but Panda has the sound barrier over Plague Doctor. That's going to be the big win condition here.
Yeah, the Shatter going to be blocked. Here comes the self-destruct out.
Yep, Darky tried to do it, able to get the remake on the Plague Doctor, then Blue jumps, uses his Shatter, the Sound Barrier able to save them as Blue gets frozen. Darky able to find out one, but Snorlax able to trade it up by getting Kaz. Blue going back to the spawn room, Machine is using the wall. We see Mordecai just trying to 80 straight, but it looks like Owning is going to be able to win that fight. The Death Blossom comes out, it's going to get Igorona, but Darky, once again, is still alive. He's doing such an amazing job of not only finding picks, but protecting their teammates.
Yeah, and the cart was moving that entire time. They're almost up to this third point with they're going to have a massive time bank because they're not going to be able to recontest this, I don't think. Specifically with that late kill onto the Diva Luminous. I don't see a way they recontest this and win it, but I'll buy it like that. Oh,
yeah.
Just free.
Put some respect on Owning's name. This is exactly why I say people prefer the McCree over the Reaper. You just wait, uses the High Noon Man just to get a 3K. No sweat, no brow, and now they have less than 5 minutes on the clock to capture this point, and that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and now this is really where Luminous needs to get some time off this clock. Because if they don't, it's going to be really hard for them to win this in the overtime pushes. And Mordecai getting the first pick on the Quasar is going to be great.
Look at them now. They're getting... Yep, now they're getting ready as they're pushing in. We're going to be seeing the Shatter come out, not even being able to find much. The Sound Barrier is finally ending out as Snorlax has the Death Blossom, but they're not even going to need to commit it. Finally getting some ground and stopping the full aggression of the fight.
Yeah, and this is what they needed. They needed some form of stabilization, and now they have the ultimates to keep it up. They've got Mordecai having the Blizzard online as well with Snorlax fans. Death Blossom, they can definitely combo this out as well with one having their amplification matrix to engage with. And Snorlax fans just going to go in with a Death Blossom.
Look at that, able to end that fight fairly quickly. and push everyone back to the spawn room. I feel like at this moment, you're not really working to win off fights, but you're working to slow this time. The payload isn't in any kind of danger right now, so they can slow it down as much as they want.
Yeah, an amplification matrix being used here early by one to throw some more time on this clock.
Now look at this, we see the Blizzard now come out. Mordecai still has his own Blizzard, but it's gonna be frozen before he can pop it. The Diva Bomb forcing everyone to push back, and the Remix is gonna be able to find out cause they've lost their main tank in a very silly way, my goodness. And the Reaper's still back there looking to pick people off. He's gonna find Eternal before they escape. And Luminous still have the advantage, but on the bright side, Celestial still have the faster respawn. That's why you don't play that close up.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to probably catch up some of these people. But nice Maywall coming out from Mordecai there.
That's able to find out cause the Shatter making some room, being able to find out both AK and Darky, allowing them to continue re-engaging back into this fight. And what a good re-engage. They back out knowing they didn't have enough people, and then they clean it up.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing it right now on why they are so, this Luminous team is so good. They were shaky in the beginning, but they changed something up in their mentals of way they played, and now they're looking a lot stronger on this defensive point 3 here, and there goes Matrix out from Olynia.
Unfortunate, Blue Room once again blocked off by the Maywall, not going to be able to escape. That Blizzard is there combined with the Death Blossom, but it's going to be eaten and put down. It seems they managed to kind of evenly trade 2 down on both sides, but Luminous don't want to end up giving up this fight. They managed to find AK Death, and they're just looking for more. Looks like Celestial just has to back up. That 5-minute time bank has moved down to less than 2, while the enemy team are moving in, owning. Looking for the high noons, blocked out by the May wall, while the Diva Bomb is looking to find someone. Fortunately, it's only really able to push people around. AK Dev built up. The Blizzard has the ability to pop it out to help secure out this fight, but it looks like in the end, Luminous are going to end it before they have any time to do so. Just pushing out, and the Diva Bomb's there just to be able to re-engage. I mean, just to be able to remech and be ready for the next fight.
Yeah, and like you were saying, the 5-minute time bank's down, and they already have less than Luminous now, and Luminous having these ultimate advantage, they're using these ultimates great, and they're cycling them perfectly as well, and they have this Blizzard online to go in this fight, and Panda does not have the sound barrier to counter it out.
And now we're seeing the Blizzard getting committed by Mordecai as he's looking. The Immortality is going to be able to save Kaz for only so long as Blue was just able to push in, but the counter Blizzard from AK Death is going to be there, but the Shatter from Blue Uwu is really going to force them to panic, and they're even stopping the Diva from remeching, and that's just so neat.
Yeah, and now we're getting down. 48 seconds left, and there's going into this one, having the Amp Matrix to buy some time as well to get Snorlax fan up to that Death Blossom. We've seen some pretty good value from it. The Amp Matrix coming out from Alernia is going to come out first.
That wall is going to slow them down a tiny bit, but not too much as they got room to move the payload. The window being used by one, they managed to find out Mordecai. The Shatter's going to get blocked, and they're just continuously putting pressure on the sound barrier. They're combined with the high noon, but it's going to be blocked by the Maywall. Has to speed and slowly walk past. Now has the room. It's immediately going to be eaten and blocked, only then shut down. And it looks like they have no one left alive. Panda just has to hide to try to touch the point.
Panda needs to stay alive here, and I don't think they're going to have anyone to touch. As Panda goes down, and there's 3 seconds left. The Blizzard is on point, and I think they've done it. I think they've held it for 5 minutes. Oh my goodness.
My Illuminati, I mean, they come from your same org. Have some respect for them. You don't need to just show we're the better team.
Yeah, I'm really getting San Francisco Shock vibes from this team because of how they're able to adapt. Going in, even just this map. We saw earlier in this series, Owning was getting so much value. Look at this play of the game. So much value from the Deadeye. But going into point 3, they shut him down. They shut down Darky, who was getting so much value with that defensive matrix as well. And they held him for 5 minutes and are now on to match point in grand finals point.
It's kind of impressive. I just mostly because they stayed confident. While it looked like they were being snowballed at first, it looked like they took a step back, they came back in, and they managed to bring it on the same area. Now we look at just a comparison on the Reinhardt, same exact time, but compared to Blue Uwu, Blue died less, 5 less deaths, more, 4 more final blows or something, 12-7, and that's absolutely insane. Blue was getting the pocketing and the heals, or just like the engagement ability to walk in, and unfortunately Kaz is just not being able to have that.
And not only that, look at the offensive assists. That is charge and shatters. Kaza only 4 and 10 coming out from Blue Woo. That is just showing me definitely a main tank difference right now. I'd have to say, not a huge one, but still, getting so much more value out of the charge and your earth shatters is massive, and definitely another reason why they are 2-0 up in this series.
I believe the next point will be escort if we're feeling nice. Maybe we'll force them on to 2CP early. You know, we're having fun today. Either way, both of these teams have been performing well. Luminous definitely deserving this top tier spot, but it's still not over for Celestial Esports. They 100% have the ability to bring it back, but you're going to have to stay tuned in if you want to be able to see that, because I believe we are going into a pause, so make sure you come back to make sure to see who wins the match. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good pause and a good bop to the music. I know we were. We are back. This is Joker Ransom, and right now we're at match point. Luminous versus Celestial Esports in the GGU playoffs of the Advanced Division. And how are you doing?
You know, I'm doing great. I'm excited to get into this third map, and it's something I haven't seen in forever. We're going to Junkertown, baby. Oh my goodness.
I don't believe. I thought they were memeing. I thought they were memeing on us.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Junkertown being played.
Is that grass? Maybe we can get half of the community to touch it. As we are going into a primarily sniper map, and I can't be more excited.
Oh, I just want to see some amazing Widow gameplay, but probably not going to see Widow. We're probably going to just see some Ashe played from these people, as they like to opt for Ashe now more than Widowmaker. But still, going to be really great to see a map I haven't casted in forever. And oh my goodness, we're just both so excited.
Yeah, you're in tears. I can hear it. Honestly, what makes this map so memorable is because we've had a lot of opportunities to see Widowmakers or sniper players be able to just pop off, as well as Brawl isn't very common on this, except on the third, maybe second. It's primarily for kind of split compositions and dives, which gives the players enough opportunities to show off, which is what makes the game so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and speaking of memorable plays and speaking of people that are just coming back into Overwatch, Pine's play on point 2 of the of Junkertown is probably one of the best plays we've ever seen on this point or on this map, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see something similar to it today.
We do love Pine soon to return back to form and become the big boss. However, I think Luminous are trying to beat the big bosses right now, because they're in the lead, and I wouldn't say by dominantly, but I would say swiftly.
Yeah, and not they, like I was saying before the break, I feel like they're showing a very San Francisco Shock vibes, being able to take their mistakes from earlier in the matchup and then change it and make themselves better as we got through along the series. We saw them not too great the first couple of rounds, the first round on Nepal, and then changing it up, getting back and winning the rest of the series out, rest of the map out. And as well with Kings Row, their defense was not good at all going into the first 2 points, and then they held for 5 minutes. There's something either about the players or the coaching staff for this Luminous team that just shouts champion.
they just puff out their chest and say, hey, we're just gonna start winning now, sorry, and they just bring it out. But hopefully Celestial maybe starts showing us some of their opportunities to pull up. We saw glimpses of them playing extremely well, especially on King's Row. They did an amazing job of shutting down Kai when they were on the Doomfist originally, but once they started to get switched up, and they just weren't adapting to the momentum at times.
Yeah, Doomfist pick wasn't necessarily good. It had some good moments, but then they swapped to that May for that defense, and it was so much better. May had so much value for them, for the Luminous squad, and it was also a big part of why they were able to hold on that defense. And I believe now we're going into Junkertown.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Gotta love this map. If I get it in comp, I definitely tilt because I get mad. I'm not a DPS player, so I just kind of have to deal with getting styled on at times. But gotta say, it's beautiful to watch. We did talk about it before, so it's primarily kind of a split map. You don't really see Rush go often because teams will just play Ball Sigma and split up. And look at that, immediately called it.
Yeah, the Ball being favored by both of these squads right now. As well, we're seeing Mordecai on the Ashe. I wasn't expecting Mordecai on the Ashe, to be completely honest. I was expecting Snorlax fan to be on it, but still, we will see here as AK Death opting for the Hanzo, another sniper in the game. No Widowmaker, however, which disappoints me, but both teams are running pretty much a mirror matchup with two different snipers.
I definitely agree. It's a little sad we're not going to see any kind of pop-off where he just hits the montage, is able to go hug his wife in the end, if he is married, or, you know, anything else, we accept all. But as we see them go into the fight, AK is looking for that initial pick. Both of these teams have to play carefully. The first pick may define the fight.
Yeah, as both teams are really just setting up, trying to get the angles, are Mordecai and AK Death, because those are the people that are going to get those, and Blue Woo getting the first pick on owning it.
Able to find out that Tracer, there's going to be nobody slamming down. The double slam, they managed to find out learning, and that's going to be massive. They don't have the Discord orb, which is a big factor in these fights, so look at them already backing up. They help enable the res, and then they can go back into the fight, but then they get the Hanzo again, so now they have to kind of play in a very slow, somewhat paced, and Tracer moving in. Alerna just having to play more carefully. Kaz gets picked out. Snorlax looking to find Darky, or at least do a consistent amount of damage, while Owning is trying to find one, but one is being perfectly pocketed and healed by Panda, and they're just able to work together to shut that fight down.
Yeah, and now they're going into the last stages of point one here, and not having to really do much, and a nice Wrecking Ball tech coming in from Blue Woo there to get up to that high ground, but they might not be able to contest, as Quasar gonna go down, and it's just the Tracer just left to contest.
The respawns are fairly close, but not too far. We're just going to see Kai use the Bob, place it in that window. It's going to stop anyone from really trying to touch into the point. They have to play on the right side if they want any form of natural cover, but it looks they're still wanting to stall this out as much as they can. We see Kaz on the point. AK building up that Dragon's now going to be committing it down. Well, he's going to have a really good angle. It's going to be sideways as Darky gets hit with the Graviton Surge. Going to be dropping at half health, but it's still fine to live. AK does go down to the full spot, but it doesn't matter too much as the team is still looking to commit to this fight. One pops the Transcendence and the Mines get used. They're forcing a lot of abilities out of Luminous to make them commit and want the point, while Owning is alive and not going to be able to pop the Pulse Bomb. Luminous are finally going to be able to capture the point.
Yeah, and it's not just, you said, Luminous had to use all their ultimates in that last fight there. And now Celestial Esports having 3 to re-engage and try to start this defense, but Panda opting to go for this Brigida now, obviously trying to stop Blue Woo getting all this value that they've been so far on this Wrecking Ball with that shield bash, but definitely less utility with no, or less damage output with no more Blue Beam for the side of Quasar.
Completely agree. We do see Celeste have 3 ultimates. They're putting pressure onto the Ashe in the Mercy Pocket. Tried their best, and they almost managed to find out Plague Doctor getting that passive healing, but it looks like they're just barely being able to escape death. That's absolutely tilted. That Mercy was won for so long, and now they're fighting in the small room as we see them use mines to split it up. It's unfortunate as Darky also eats Snorlax's Pulse Bomb. What a massive play, being able to shut it down and force everyone on the side of Luminous to back up.
Yeah, and they did it while still maintaining ultimate advantage, did Quasar. Now they have the Dragon Strike and the Pulse Bomb online for this next fight. Nothing online for Luminous, and now they're opting to go for this double shield with a Hanzo and McCree composition, one also swapping over to a Baptiste as well. Not going to be able to get as much value, I feel, from Quasar now.
It looks like they do get split up a tiny bit, but the Sigma's going to be able to come back. It's interesting to see this composition get used because they all play so close. That immortality has to get used, so owning can't get value off of it. Was almost going to stick someone. AK managed to find G-Death, and it looks like Mordecai is able to find out Kaz, who was inside the backline. This gives them room to move around. The Hanzo's still going to be able to play the angles and flanks, and the Brig was already there to try to shut down Snorlax. Is going to be able to escape, and the Valk gets used just to help him get a bit more damage and healing in. Maybe trying to find some targets in, but one goes down dangerously low. They're now on the point. Owning managing to find out Mordecai, who was kind of just moving around, and is going for the res. Gravitic Flux popping out, looking for the stun, unable to find it. The res goes on to Mordecai, going to bring it back. It looks like Darky's going to return the favor and give them a Gravitic Flux of their own favor. Guys goes very close and just looking to finish off this. Arista going to find it because one goes down very early. So now the High Noon's not going to be able to find anyone. The payload just slowly moving. A Snorlax fan continuously just hitting into a wall for some reason. Now 1v1 against Kaz, stopping the mines from coming out. I didn't know you could do that. And they may have a good recontest here. You're relying on the mines there, and since they're not there, it's kind of just a Sig v Sig with the double shield coming in. That rally's just there to help sustain them. They're looking to take over the high ground, but it seems that Celestial have nothing to worry about being able to play on this bridge and rotate around. We're now continuing into a 6v6 as the teams have regrouped. Snorlax building up to the Dragons, but they're still having to play very slowly, throwing it out, looking to force that Sigma into an unfavorable position. At most, they're moving this payload because nobody is just touching it. Darky playing high. They're looking to use that Pulse Bomb. They're unable to eat it. It's going to hit Blue Uwu, while Snorlax fan is looking for these angles to pick off a target. Unable to find much from the Storm Arrow, and they're still taking their sweet time. They don't seem to be stressing over anything. Blue takes a big hit from the Zenyatta, and the Gravitic Flux is going to be looking to melt people down. Darky is able to find out one, and they're just slowly being able to melt down the rest of Luminous.
Yeah, and with it being that long of a fight and not winning it out, they're down to 20 seconds left. They have ultimates to win this, though. They just need to be able to touch, and they have only 18 seconds. They're going to have someone. I don't know who's going to touch for this Luminous squad. Well, they do have. Looks like they're all together so far, but a nice boop coming in from Quasar there.
Alright, now we prepare. We see the Gravitic Flux pop out from Zenith. He's going to be going on to the high ground, but the Brig is going to force them down. The Dragon gets placed, stopping them from touching the payload, and one was just a bit too far up. They do manage to get the res out during the Valk. Same with the Bongo, but Darky's in a good angle, and he's going to be looking to break the Bongo. It continues going. They're finally finding the picks and value they've been looking for. Darky's trying to take these angles, but he's all alone in the fight. His Hanzo's just looking for the spots, but the shield's there. They are going to be hit. Darky's finally going to fall down. We see AK Death just looking to do the best to save somebody. But in the end, Luminous, they were just waiting till overtime to finally win.
Yeah, and a really nice engagement coming in from Luminous, getting a nice, a decent Gravitic Flux, but not what won them the fight. That definitely that res onto one by Plague Doctor, winning them that fight, because without that Baptiste, there was no way they were going to sustain through that engagement. Now they're taking this high ground away from Celestial Esports Quasar.
Now we look to see how they, oh my goodness, AK Death immediately getting headshotted, and Panda's too scared to try to res it. However, it looks like fear is just another drug for them to take because they managed to pop it off. And then AK Death just unfortunately falls again. Owning just having to retreat, wants to be able to touch that cart while it's into 40 seconds. So this is maybe a 2-fight territory, and Kaz is returning back in, looking to slam, manages to get the Mega. It's going to be retreating out from the back. This is where it kind of favors. There's a lot of exits and room for them to play the map, while the Sigma's dangerously low, going to be body shotted by AK Death's going to finish them off. And now Kaz is looking for the people on the high ground. They managed to stagger people, and they're going to have to go into the next fight at a disadvantage. But look at that. Snorlax is able to find 2 picks. The Mercy's just flying around. Kaz is just unable to track the Mercy, and it's very unfortunate as we see them finally take out Kaz, and the Sigma is now, the 1v1. It's kind of alone. The Mercy is split off, just looking to fly, and is just going to have the shield broken in the end. The res manages to come off, and they built up the dragons, but Onyx is going to shut down Snorlax, place the dragons onto point, and we're going to see the Mercy fly around. The Flux now pops out. Same with the High Noon. They may be able to find someone, but they end up just using it to reload. Both Darky and Kaz are on the point. We see the window B user looking to just melt people down, and Darky's just unable to survive from it. Already had to use the Eat, now the Mines, but it looks like the Mercy is on the point, and it's going to be able to capture Luminous. They managed to bring that back from what looked to be a hold on the second point, and you've got to give them props for that.
Yeah, and I think the chat said it already, but I'm going to say it again. Snorlax fan gif in that last fight.
It's just the superior Pokemon.
It's just the superior Pokemon. No Quasar, no Pokemon. Luminous Pokemon. Therefore, they win. But Snorlax fan getting multiple picks in that last fight and being able to get that is the reason they were able to capture that the third and final point. And now they're going into this defense, and they have they have their win condition. Just stop them from reaching all 3 points, and they are the advanced division champions.
Yeah, the only issue I'm finding is that they've shown to do this repeatedly. So it's all really up to Celestial to kind of play and go beyond what their limits are to try and push this point to third. If they manage to cap it, it's still going to go into a kind of overtime situation where they get another attack, see how far they push it. So if they want to keep their hopes alive, they need to capture the third point and then win off of that.
Yeah, they definitely need to, but what we see right now, we're seeing this double shield out from Luminous, as it is a very good defensive style composition, and it did end up working for them in the end. But if Quasar can get that one pick necessary onto one, they could split the defense wide open.
Yeah, I do like the double shield. It does play the bunker. You're able to focus on the targets or kind of move them around, focus on one angle. But that's what that's what Celestial's composition is looking to exploit, is that bunker. They're looking to focus the people down who aren't together. And look at that, the Mercy immediately has to fly back to the Orisa from the poke. They do manage to find Ilerna, and that's the unfortunate part. Now that Zenyatta is not there to put in the extra damage, the res is enabled, but AK Def is going to be found out by Snorlax flank, who's in the area looking for single Hanzos in the area. They're also going to be looking for Panda, who's just kind of being sticked there. The Sigma using the shield just to barely save, and Mordecai is just snooping around for anyone who dares to just go on a flank.
Yeah, and now we're seeing this defense looking really good, and now we're seeing it owning on to the Widowmaker. Interesting decision going with the Widow against a double shield composition. But if they can get a pick onto a support or a Snorlax fan, that could, again, bust this defense wide open and get this attack rolling for Quasar here.
I see what you mean. Look at that. They're playing so far forward. But now it's kind of a mirror. It's going to be up to Luminous to use their abilities to win this fight. We see the Dragons get used. It does manage to force the team back. Owning isn't able to take the angles, but now he's ready. He's on the Widowmaker, able to get the headshot on Plague Doctor. now it's versus Snorlax. Even if their team are dead, it looks like Owning is still looking for people. But Mordecai is going to say, nope, sorry, you've got your show time. It's time to go.
Yeah, and that's where I think Ash just is definitely better than Widowmaker right there. You have more capabilities with the Ash kit. You have that dynamite. You have the coach gun to get away from things as well. The Widow, it is more flashy than Ash, but I think the Ash is definitely the pick if I was the Celestial Esports Quasar.
We see AK Death able to find out Snorlax fan, but the high noon was put into the Gravitic Flux, goes into the air, finds Darky, which ends up canceling it, funny enough. The res also comes out. Looks like Owning wasn't able to get the shot out, but finishes off Snorlax fan. Mordecai is also sneakily going in, but he gets found out. He misses the stun, and he's just trying to back out. But Plague Doctor avenges his friends while getting AK Death. We're now going into the last minute, and they only have sights. They need to build up ultimates. Wow, they know Mordecai is on the flank. He has to try and still escape from whatever shot that's going to be taken. Look at them already taking the high ground. They're taking the bridge. They're looking to zone him out. Going right after Mordecai. How unfortunate. The Gravitic Flux gets popped. It's almost like they baited them to go in there. However, it is going to be canceled. And now Death is just walking into them. He's unafraid to take this aggressive position and just force them back. We see Owning managing to find out Snorlax from the res too, so it doesn't even matter. Celestial having the room that they finally wanted to take some space.
Yeah, and Mordecai being felled again, running back from spawn after that Tracer swap. But Snorlax fan getting a pick on AK Death.
Look at that, still somewhat even of a fight. Celestial's not fully committing in, they're trying to go in, but it looks like they need the Gravitic Flux to feel comfortable to finish off this fight. The Mercy's still alive, and they're the only person left who could try to really touch, as everyone else is just back in the spawn room, but it seems Celestial's going to be able to capture the point and have a chance to save the series.
Yeah, and definitely a great swap coming in from Owning on to this Widowmaker here. Just getting so much value, so many kills, so many final blows. And that's what you definitely need from your Widowmaker there, as now we just see this the mid fight coming in, and the two support ultimates online for Luminous is going to be great to start this engagement when one probably going to use the Amp Matrix when this cart pushes around the corner to stop any cart progress coming up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Look at that Dragons. It's going to be popping out. It's looking for a target. It is going to split them out. AK Death goes a bit too far in, gets that rock, and then eventually gets shot. Panda is looking for the res, but it looks like they're unable to finally get it, as Kaz is just going underneath, really able to move the payload, but now the backside is being shot, and Kaz, she's going to be ended. Looks like the Sigma was too afraid or just didn't want to move up while they play back, and the Dragons is there for everyone who's moving back. It seems just barely they're going to be able to duck and retreat. Either way, Luminous have won this fight and have a better chance of holding this point.
Yeah, they did have to use all their ultimates is in that though, and now Quasar they did build up to against Gravitic Flux here, but going into this fight, Lernia's going to have the Amp Matrix going into this as well. Kaza is going to probably build up to this supercharge as well. That's going to be a lot of damage coming in from the side of Celestial Esports.
They now set up, they took the flank, and they've almost switched position. That Gravitic Flux is going to pop out. Both of the Hanzos managed to trade in front of the Mercy, but Mordecai was there. It shuts down Panda while the res was coming out. Kaza is able to get G-Dep, but the Orisa's still on the ground, and they need to push that payload. They may have the high ground, but it's only worked in one movie. Now the window gets used. It's looking to split them up or put pressure on the shield, but Snorlax is taking such an angle that they don't even want to peek it. Plague Doctor does manage to get shot out, and causes 1v1. The Orisa manages to win it, and it looks like Celestial has the room. I guess the high ground works more than just the sequence.
Yeah, and they probably aren't going to have a chance to re-engage this, most likely. I don't see anyone coming. But no one's on.
Okay, you saw that, right? They got off cart for a whole second.
Yeah, no one's gonna be able. No one's touching those, so they're just setting up for this defense. They've got 1 minute and 30 left to go, and I definitely think they can hold this with some great ult management coming, as we've seen from Luminous before.
Now, on the bright side, it's double shield, so they don't have to worry too much about recontesting. Rather, they're worried about this next fight. Because the enemy team is preparing, we can already see them setting up on top of this high ground. They're looking to take those angles and abuse their sight lines. The Dragons does force them back.
Ooh.
One walks outside the immortality just by an inch and dies, so they have to use the res early while Mordecai manages to get AK death. Right now, both teams even when it comes to the res department, but that shield's not going to be protecting the Orisa. Already has to use the gold just to defend themselves. The bomb goes there for Luminous. They're just jumping onto them, shutting them down. The Dragons now forcefully owning in an unfavorable position. Manages to pick him off while Darky's there, trying to pick everyone off the angle. However, it seems that they managed to survive, and now they're just trying to stall this out as much as possible. And it looks like Celestial has such a good opportunity to push this all the way to third, but there is one more recontest.
And Bob is there as well online for Luminous. They're going to have, definitely Bob going to be able to touch this point, and then it's going to be about the other ultimates that are built up in the long fight. But no, Bob's not going to be on the point. That's massive for Quasar.
Yeah, and it immediately gets shot down. He learned an amazing job of keeping that Sigma alive, but they don't.
Oh no!
No! You end the series with the C9. No! You're from the same org. They can make fun of you. I am emotionally, I am physically, and I am now mentally drained. Oh my!
I am in fact scarred from that.
This is
wow.
Advanced. They had it. They were winning. They were winning the fight.
No,
I gotta take my glasses off for this one.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that, man.
I don't know, but I guess we have to go to our feelings. It was a good map. It was very close. Celestial had it till they caused the bite of 87. But either way, I think Luminous, Mordecai, and one, they did absolutely amazing. They managed to play together, same with Plague Doctor, and they find value on these flanks. And I think Snorlax deserves that MVP.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Snorlax was just impressive through that entire series. Definitely showing their chops on that Hanzo on point 3 of their attack. I have to definitely agree with you. Snorlax fan is going to be my MVP as well.
But do you have any lasting comments for the folks? Because Luminous are the champions of the EU Advanced Division.
Don't stay on cart. Stay on cart. Anyone watching, just stay on cart. But congratulations to Luminous with your undefeated playoffs, not dropping a single map.
Call it the Golden Series. They have no sweat or no worries. I believe we are bringing this out too, Joker. So do you have any lasting comments?
No, just congratulations.
I do have to say so. But if you enjoyed the content here, I'd recommend hitting the heart. Give us a follow if you enjoyed our casting. Check out the producers. They did everything behind the scenes to make everything look as beautiful as it is. But that heart, make sure you track GGEU, GGNA, and everything Elo Hell produces. Either way, we thank you so much for tuning in. There'll be more matches on the way, but for today, we're going to call it a quits, and we'll see you next time.